What's good, everyone? Welcome back to Level 11. So today I decided I would like to rank every Halo video game that has released to this date. Halo Campaign Evolved recently came out, and I did live stream it here on the channel. And so I have played the vast majority of these games, the sole exception being the games that will make it into G tier. Now, the reason I titled this G tier instead of haven't played or, something like that, like I have in past videos, is because, dude, I'm never going to play these G rank games. You are never going to play these G rank games, and you probably never have, nor should you. So, anyway, I'm going to be doing these in chronological order, which means we are starting with the original Halo Combat Evolved, originally released on the Xbox back in 2001. Yep, it's going in double S tier. This game changed first-person shooters forever. The twin-stick shooter control scheme, it might not have been the first game to do it, but it was the first game to do it very, very, very well. And I cannot emphasize enough how much I love this game. I was 8 when I played it for the first time, and it is just an awesome, awesome experience through and through. Still to this day, art direction-wise, I think it stands above the Anniversary Remaster and the Campaign Evolved remake. So I think Halo Combat Evolved is one of, by far, the best Halo games still to this day. Moving on, we're going to go right up with Halo 2, and that's going to go in S tier. I love Halo 2, you guys. I love Halo 2. I don't love it as much as I love Halo 1, but I do have to admit, Halo 2 is superior in a few ways to Halo 1, that being obviously Xbox Live and online multiplayer for console users, as well as the story for the campaign. It's the way they turn the dial up for the scope and spectacle with the Arbiter and the Prophets and the Brutes and their conflict, and we just learned so much about the Covenant in this game. So Halo 2 is a very strong title. But there are a couple reasons why I put it below Halo 1, and I put it in the regular S tier instead of the double S tier. First of which I'm going to mention is just a personal problem. This is my list, this is just my personal preference, this is not an objective list. And because of that, I am taking into account the fact that I never had an original Xbox, which doesn't matter for this game as much as it does for this game, and that is, again, because of the Xbox Live component. I never got to play this game extensively on Xbox Live enough to develop a connection to it and a passion for it in the way that I was for this game, because this was about the local multiplayer, more so than the online multiplayer, especially for Xbox users of this game who, didn't have online multiplayer. I played a lot of local multiplayer of Halo 1, more than I did of online multiplayer of Halo 2. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, when this game originally came out on the Xbox, when you played it on a CRT television, the game was visually too dark. And I don't mean like, oh, it's a scary game, or oh, the art direction, it's so dark and it's so adult. No, I mean it was actually dark, and not in a good way. It wasn't dark in like a, oh wow, this is insane, and not for kids kind of thing. It was more, I can't see shit kind of way. And so you needed the flashlight more than you should have needed it in this game for the campaign. And let's see, there was a third thing I wanted to mention. Oh, right, so this game got rushed to market a little bit, and that is why the game does have a cliffhanger ending. You mind telling me what you're doing on that ship? Sir, finishing this fight, sir. It's, there was supposed to be a Warthog run at the end of this campaign, and I really wish it had it, because it would have been awesome. I know it would have. So, it is what it is, but ultimately Halo 2 is still an absolute masterpiece of a video game. Still one of the best first-person shooters of all time, and, yeah, it really does stand on its own as an excellent video game. So I do love Halo 2, but not as much as I love Halo 1. Or Halo 3. If you've watched any of my previous videos, I did a top 10 video games of all time for me personally video, and Halo 3 does make it into that top 10. It actually makes it into the top 5 even. I love Halo 3. The campaign, the multiplayer, the online multiplayer, the custom games, the Forge, the theater, having such a content-rich game of such a high caliber, with such a high-quality sandbox, 20 years later, still, well, 19 years later, not 20, but still, nothing really stands up to Halo 3 in my personal opinion. Its marketing campaign was amazing, its music is amazing, it's just such a good game. I love Halo 3, you guys. And spoiler alert, nothing is beating Halo 3 on this list at all. Again, I'm doing these in chronological order, and we have a lot of games to get through, but you already know what my favorite is, and it's absolutely Halo 3. Alright, we're going to move on to Halo Wars. That is going into B tier. I do like a good RTS game, and this is a very good RTS game. This actually did kind of redefine the RTS genre by making it RTS that you could fully play with a controller. That was a first for that genre, and do it well. You know, don't get me wrong, other RTSs came out on the Xbox 360, Command & Conquer 3 Tiberium Wars, Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth 2, and while I love Battle for Middle-earth 2, I love it for its PC release. I played it on PC, and I still play it on PC. This was the first console-exclusive RTS, and that, in and of itself, kind of makes it worthy of at least B tier, but I am more of a shooter guy than an RTS guy. I'm not very good at RTSs, but I beat the campaign, and I liked it, and I played the multiplayer online a little bit, but yeah, I think it's a very good game overall, and I do enjoy it quite a lot. Halo 3 ODST, that is going to be going in A tier. It's got an excellent campaign and story, and the music, dude, the music for Halo 3 ODST is excellent. It's got a bit more of like a jazz feel to it, and I'm a jazz kind of guy, so I'm all about it, but it works so well with what they're doing here, and the tone is so different because of the fact that you're not Master Chief or a Spartan of any kind for that matter. The Covenant is a much more dire threat to the main characters of this game, and the somewhat non-linear storytelling and level progression of this game is something they've never gone back to in this way, I guess I should clarify. But yeah, I really like Halo 3 ODST, even if it's the weakest of the Bungie games, which spoiler alert, I do find. It is still an excellent title, and yes, because I've already told you how I feel about it being the bottom of the barrel for Bungie, which is, again, not anything bad. I am putting Halo Reach in S tier, above Halo 2. I love Reach. I love Reach. It is excellent. I do think it actually has the best campaign out of all 5 games. Maybe I'm only saying that because you don't have to fight the Flood, but at the same time, it's got a really good, like, if you are rating a campaign in Halo based on 2 things, those being gameplay and story, I do think that it does exceed all of these. I guess I should clarify, I do think Halo 2 has the strongest story, but Halo Reach is right behind it in that sense, and I think gameplay-wise it is superior to Halo 2. I love Halo Reach. Multiplayer, campaign, Forge mode, theater, all that stuff still comes back for this game. The multiplayer progression for unlocking, skins and, well, not skins, but like, armor pieces and stuff, I think it was best in Reach, and I mean that for the entire series, Master Chief Collection included. I loved Halo Reach, you guys. It's the only game where I actually beat the campaign Legendary All Skulls on. That shit was tough, and I don't want to do Lasso for any of these games ever again, to be honest, but yeah, I remember the last level for Halo Reach taking us like 3 hours to get through, but we did it, and it was worth it, because this is such a fun game, you guys, and they really hit the nail on the head as far as what they were trying to do with it, and the doing a Halo game where Master Chief is not the main character, this is the best way to do it in my personal opinion. ODST did a good job too, but like, let's face it, if you're playing Halo, you want to play a Spartan in a mainline entry, even if it's like a spin-off mainline entry. So, I love Halo Reach. Cannot emphasize enough. Like, I almost want to put it in double S tier, but like, if there were no double S tier, all 4 of these games would be S tier. I wouldn't be moving these down to A tier. These are all absolute peak. Love them. Anyway, we'll move on to Halo Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. That's going to be going in D tier. It's not like, I mean, you'll kind of see why later on, but yeah, this just doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't do it for me. That's really all I have to say about it. The art direction is inferior to this game. Graphically, obviously, there's more that the hardware is doing than this, but it doesn't matter if you're messing up the art direction enough. to, you know, make people say, oh, this actually looks better. Yeah, Halo 4, I'm going to put in C tier. Now, I do plan on doing a separate video talking about 3 big mistakes that Halo 4 did, and I guess I can just gloss over them really quick here, and that is that they copied Call of Duty for the multiplayer as far as, like, you know, when you're starting out, you can choose, like, certain loadouts and stuff like that. I think that was a bad idea. I do think that it was a bad idea to retcon Forerunners being humans. The Bungie games all very, very heavily emphasize that the Forerunners were actually just ancient humans, and they kind of spat in the face of that with Halo 4. I think that was a big mistake. And the third thing I think they should have done with Halo 4 is make it launch on the Xbox One. Even if it came out a year later, dude, we still had Halo Reach, and that was still, like, everyone was still playing that. It's not like people were, like, dying for a new Halo game at that point. Don't put it on Xbox 360. Just put it on the Xbox One day one. The only Halo game out of every single one of these to actually launch day one with a new Xbox was the original. And I think they messed up by doing it there. To be honest, I don't think they should have done Halo 4 at all. I think they should have done more spin-offs like Reach, 343 Industries. They should have done more spin-offs like Reach, and then gone into Halo 4 a few years later to get people to actually feel the absence of the Master Chief so that when he returns it has a little bit more impact. But yeah, I guess that would be an honorable mention is to just, you know, not do a Halo 4 at all until later on. But anyway, yeah, we'll go into Spartan Assault next. F tier. It's so mediocre, you guys. It's a twin-stick shooter, top-down view. I don't have anything against the genre. It's just, as far as that genre is concerned, you know, it's pretty tough to make like a really iconic or addicting twin-stick shooter. But I think it was done pretty recently with Vampire Survivor. I think that's a twin-stick shooter. I haven't played it yet, so I can't really say. But this game is just mid as mid gets, you know? So, I can't recommend it. But it is better than other games that we'll be talking about. But for now, let's talk Master Chief Collection. It's going in A tier, and the only reason it's going in A tier is because I did not play it on the Xbox One. I never had an Xbox One. Why would I get an Xbox One when this was on the 360, and this was your only exclusive Halo game? Anyway, I love Master Chief Collection because I waited until Halo Reach was available for it, and I waited until this was available on PC, and as far as value is concerned, this is just such a good deal. Like, if you have to buy any singular one game out of everything here, you gotta get Master Chief Collection. It is the best bang for your buck, it is the best deal, it is one of the best deals in gaming as a whole. Like, if you have to play one game for the rest of your life and you're allowed to do collections, this is probably my favorite collection of games ever. I love Master Chief Collection. I have hundreds of hours in it. It is absolutely worth it, in my personal opinion. Cannot emphasize enough how much I really enjoy Master Chief Collection. It is 343 Industries' best release, unfortunately. Which I mean, it's unfortunate in the sense that, like, they haven't done a original Halo game that was better than just all the Bungie games in one package. Anyway, Halo 2 Anniversary is also going in D tier. I actually prefer Halo 1 Anniversary to Halo 2 Anniversary because Halo 2 Anniversary is obviously just a reskin of Halo 4's engine. I don't think it's as obvious with Halo 1. I think Halo 2 just looks like Halo 4, but set in the story of Halo 2. So I really, I don't like that. And to be honest, again, the same thing here. It's like, I'd rather just play the original than this one. Even if the, you know, how I talked about this game being too dark visually is fixed here. Doesn't matter. I like the art direction for this one more, even with that flaw in mind. Alright, now we're going to go on to Spartan Strike, and this is our first G-Rank game. The G-Rank games are the games that I have not played, don't want to play, will not play, you should not play, and if you have played, I bet you regret. The only reason, like, these are both twin-stick shooters, but this is mobile only. This is not the channel to be on if you like mobile gaming, you guys. If you like mobile games, you are a blight on the industry. I do not like you, and you should be ashamed of yourself. I'm somewhat, exaggerating when I say that, but in a way, I do truly mean it. But yeah, I could get into it, but I'm not going to. Spartan Strike, G tier. Anyway, Halo 5. It's going in F tier, but it's going to go above Spartan Assault. I actually do like the multiplayer for Halo 5, but its campaign is pretty egregious. I don't even feel like I need to explain it, but just in case, there was a campaign for this game's marketing called Hunt the Truth, and it actually had people pretty hyped. Halo 4 was not like, you know, it was fine. It was fine. It wasn't as good as any of the Bungie games, but it was serviceable enough. Again, I think those 3 big mistakes were big mistakes. But the Halo series was not on a trajectory of complete ruin until this game came out, with Hunt the Truth not actually living up to its hype. You play more missions as Locke than you do as Chief, which is definitely a sin. It's fine if you want a main Spartan that's not Chief if you do it the way Reach did. That's not what they did here. They ruined Cortana's character. I think the only... No, that's Halo 4. I was thinking of... I order you to surrender that AI! That's actually Halo 4. That's not even Halo 5. I think it's Halo 4 anyway. But yeah, so... No, it might be Halo 5. I don't remember. Anyway, if it is Halo 5, that's my favorite thing about Halo 5 is just that meme. But I do think that was Halo 4. Anyway, fighting the same boss 3 times with little to no moderation or, you know, modifying of the boss to make it, you know, tougher or more interesting or anything. The campaign being kind of short and lackluster. Locke being set up to try and replace Chief. There's a lot here that they should not have done. There was definitely more than 3 or 4 big mistakes that this game made. But multiplayer was pretty good, and I'd rather play this again than this. Alright, moving on. Halo Wars 2. It's also going in B tier, but I'm putting it below Halo Wars 1, as Halo Wars 1 had more of an impact on the genre that it is than Halo Wars 2. And, you know, I played both campaigns through. They're both solid. The only thing that I can say about 2 that 1 didn't do is that the story of 2 actually ties into a future mainline game, which I think is pretty cool, but also, like, not something I think they should do in the future, because the people who are big fans of Halo, they're less likely to play these games because it's just, you know, it's a completely different genre. I played them, obviously, because, you know, I'm a big Halo fan, but at the same time, I'm not big enough of a Halo fan to put either of the RTS games in A tier. Alright, moving on. Halo Recruit. This is going in G tier as well, and the only reason I'm putting it below Spartan Strike is, like, don't get me wrong, I prefer VR gaming over mobile gaming, but this is a free-to-play 5-minute experience that's basically nothing more than a tech demo. And yeah, if I have to choose between a VR tech demo and a mobile game, at least this is an actual game. Well, I say it's an actual game, but I only mean that in comparison to this. This is an actual game in comparison to this, and so on and so forth. So I'm not, you know, this is only on Windows Mixed Reality. I don't even know how to access Windows Mixed Reality, and I don't care to know. So I'm not going to be playing that. Now, as far as mobile games, VR games, modes in which you can play video games that are not very conventional, out of all of them, out of all of the Halo games that are in these unconventional methods, my favorite is going to be Halo Fireteam Raven. This is an arcade game where it's a shooter where you have like a gun mold and you point at the screen and you shoot. And I actually have played this and I actually kind of enjoyed it. And for what it is, I'm going to put it in C tier. Oddly enough, for the mere fact that there is a Halo arcade game is cool. Not for the Halo series specifically, but for arcades. If I go to an arcade and I see a Halo arcade game, my immediate thought is, fuck yeah, let's go play some Halo. So I do, mostly for that reason, put it in C. I'd rather play this again than any of these other games. Except for maybe 5, just because the multiplayer was pretty good. I actually wish 5 was in the Master Chief Collection, but, you know, not enough to move Master Chief Collection to B tier because of the lack of Halo 5. Yeah, Fireteam Raven's actually pretty cool for what it is. Anyway, Halo Infinite is going to the top of B tier. As far as original releases are concerned, original games, this is by far my favorite of the 343 Industries games. The multiplayer and the sandbox are great as far as actual gameplay is concerned. As far as multiplayer structure and how they made it free to play and how they did battle passes and how they have a bunch of gay LGBT flags and outfits and shit, I do not like any of that. So that docks the game a little bit, as well as, you know, the campaign is such a mixed bag for me because I actually do like the campaign for what it is, but it should not have been what it is whatsoever. Trying to Breath of the Wild a Halo campaign was one of the dumbest ideas that this studio has ever done. But that being said, it's actually pretty fun for what it is. I just think that if they were going to do that, they should have made the world bigger, have more variety. They should have done it structurally different. Now, from a story perspective, it's not great, but it's also picking up the pieces of Halo 5 story, which was just a dumpster fire. So for what they had to work with, not bad as far as the story is concerned, but also not great. I didn't really like the weapon as a character, and I didn't like I don't remember his name, that Mexican pilot. I just didn't like him that much. Now, Chief, they actually did handle pretty well in this game. Better than they handled him in the prequel missions for Campaign Evolved, in my opinion. And with that being said, let's just get into Halo Campaign Evolved. This one was tough, but I'm going to put it at the top of C tier. I actually kind of like it. I think it's pretty fun. As far as graphical fidelity is concerned, I'm pretty impressed. This is a very pretty game. The art direction in Halo Campaign Evolved is better than that of Halo Anniversary, but not quite on the same level as this. This has like a liminal space kind of vibe to it that I think should have been retained here. This was super busy, like too much so. And too much so here, but not as bad as here, in my opinion. The prequel missions, I'm not super impressed by them. I mean, it's more Halo, so in that sense, I enjoyed it for what it was, but Lieutenant Williams is pretty insufferable. To be fair, though, she does kind of change her attitude by the end of the campaign missions, and there's only 3 missions. She's not in the first mission. She's in the second and third mission, but she does change her tune pretty quickly, thankfully. But she's still insufferable for the first half of her time in these prequel missions. Let's see. As far as skulls are concerned, I like their inclusion here because it gives this version of Halo 1 a lot more replayability than this version, for sure. And even the original, I have to give it its roses on that front. The campaign evolved skull idea was actually pretty good, and I do have to give this game its brownie points for how they handled that. Let's see. Oh yeah, Cortana. So there's this online controversy about Cortana being uglier than she should be in this game, and while I somewhat agree with that, I think they're over-exaggerating. I do not think she's as ugly as, and I'm not saying Jerma is an ugly guy, but like saying that she looks just like Jerma is disingenuous in my opinion. She's more attractive here than the main lead female character for Fable, or some of the worse snapshots of Aloy from Horizon Forbidden West, or there's uglier female characters out there than Cortana in Campaign Evolved. There is this narrative and this idea that Western development studios are making ugly female characters on purpose, and I do agree with that. I do think that's pretty objectively true, but I don't think that this game is a good example of that. Could she look better? Yeah, but my main problem with Cortana in this game is her voice acting more than anything else. So, yeah, it's, it is what it is, but it's actually, it's not bad. It's not bad. Like, anything C tier and above for this, pretty fun. Like, pretty fun. C tier has its problems. Fireteam Raven is, like, from what I remember anyway, you can't really do much to get Fireteam Raven to B or A or S or double S because it's an arcade game. Like, what can you really do to get me to put this above Halo 3, right? Like, basically, it's not going to happen. But for what it is, it's pretty good. But yeah, C tier and above, all stuff that I can recommend, at least to a degree. And yeah, this is my tier list for the Halo franchise as a whole. And that's all I have to say about it. What do you guys think about the Halo series as a whole, and what do you think about my tier list here? Do you agree with it? Where do you disagree with it? Where do you agree with it the most? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff, and we will see you all next time. Until then, keep leveling up, everyone, and take care.